Hi guys, welcome back to It's Now or Never. I'm your host, Alex Willard, and this is episode 7, part 1 of my story. So let's dive in. Before I go into this, I want to talk about how this is a very serious subject. So a little trigger warning, and if you can't handle this with the seriousness and the weight it deserves, you shouldn't be listening to this. If you're listening, you probably came from my Instagram or TikTok that I posted. It's a little 3-minute video kind of coming out with the fact that this happened to me. And I'm ready to talk about it. And I'm not going to be quiet. And I'm not shameful. I'm not embarrassed. If anything, I am stronger than ever. This has not brought me down one bit. It has built me up so much. It has showed me who I am. So bring it on. Here we go. My junior year of high school in March, I had somebody pose as Team Snapchat in order to hack into my Snapchat account. This person gained pictures of me that were meant to be between my current boyfriend at the time and myself. Something I never thought that anybody else would see. The next day, somebody reached out to me and basically sent me these photos of me along with a document of all of my personal information. This person knew everything about me. They knew where I lived, where I went to school, my birthday, my teammates, what sport I played, my family members. They knew everything about me. And they said that if I did not send them what they wanted, if I didn't do whatever disgusting things that they wanted, that they would expose me. They would take these photos of me, these private personal photos that I thought were just for myself, along with all of my personal information, and post it online. Post it to public forums for anybody and everybody to see. My response was, no, and I blocked them. And I didn't tell anybody. A couple days later, this person reached back out to me, sending me a link. The new home of my pictures I had taken that I thought were just meant for me and whoever I sent them to. Isn't that the point of Snapchat? Things go away. I had saved these pictures. This was my fault, right? So what was I going to do? I was going to take care of it. I was going to deal with it before anybody else found out. I was going to get these pictures taken offline. I was going to figure it out, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. I didn't want anyone to judge me. I didn't want to get in trouble. I was scared. So this person asked me this question again. They said, now do you want to do what I want? I have the code to take these pictures down. If you do what I want for 7 days, I will take these down and I will never talk to you ever again. But then he told me, I'll make an exception for you. Oh, just because you're pretty, I'll make it 3 days. 3 days of whatever I want, or else I'll post these things online. And I will ruin your life. And I will continue to post these pictures. And I will ruin your life. And nobody at school will want you. Your parents won't want you. Everyone will think you're disgusting. And everyone will see how much of a whore you are. This is how I was talked to. A random man over the phone was dehumanizing me and belittling me and manipulating me. And I began to fall victim. I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So I said, okay, what do you want from me? And this is where I was told that this is the foot in the door technique. They begin by asking for a selfie. So I sent him a selfie. Now send me a picture in the mirror. So I sent him a picture in the mirror. Now take your shirt off. And things continued to get worse and worse. And I felt like I couldn't back out of it. Because as soon as I tried, he would post something online. If I had done something that he didn't like, it wasn't good enough, I had to redo it. I had to retake the picture. Or else he would post it online. If I stopped, he would post everything online. And it would make things worse for me. And I didn't know what to do. And I was scared. I had asked him at one point, I'll go to the police. I'm going to tell them. I'll tell my parents. He said they will never find me. Nobody cares. Nobody will be able to ever find me. Well, spoiler alert, they found him. But that's way too ahead of where we are right now. I asked him, since he wanted to ruin my life, what if I had committed suicide? Then what? Then would the police have found him? He said, there are some creepy, creepy men online that would love to see pictures of a dead girl. And that is when I knew that this was not the first time this guy had done this. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly how to talk to me. And I was scared. It came to a point in this day that I finally just came to this realization. I had dug myself into such a deep hole, and I did not know what to do. So I stopped responding to him. I blocked him on everything. He would repeatedly create new Instagram accounts, new Snapchat accounts, new phone numbers, and message me on everything. My phone was constantly blowing up, not just by this man, but by every other man that had seen my pictures on the internet. Child pornography. Men that were viewing child pornography that were trying to get a hold of me, trying to buy pictures from me, trying to blackmail me, just like this man had done. And slowly, the more I ignored this guy, the more went up on me online. And that is where this all starts. To this day, this still affects me. I still have photos of me online, and I still have people trying to blackmail me, people harassing me, people trying to buy photos from me, all because they saw pictures of me as a child. And it's disgusting, and they don't see anything wrong with it. This man knew how old I was and continued to post me online. He told me that because I didn't do what he wanted, he was going to ruin my life. And so, this was in April. Over the next 6 months, I didn't tell anybody. I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was shameful. I was scared of what people would think of me, how people would see me, that I'm dirty, I'm disgusting, I'm worthless. The words that this man told me, I began to believe them. And I sat in silence, and I suffered, and I thought I could deal with this on my own. I would email websites, sending in pictures of my ID, attempting to get all of these photos taken down by myself. I was in fight or flight mode. Every hour, Googling my name online, trying to fight this fire by myself, suffering in silence, not telling my friends, not telling my family, not telling anyone, not going to law enforcement. And that was my worst mistake, was not telling anyone. In September of 2021, I went to Miss Teen Texas. I competed in my first ever pageant, and I also began to watch my world crumble. After I'd got home after that weekend, I got a text from this guy again with a picture of my boyfriend at the time and a picture of my best friend. He said that, I said I was going to teach you a lesson, and now I'm going to ruin your life. And that's what he attempted to do. At this point, he sent these pictures to my current boyfriend, my boyfriend's older sister, and my best friend. My best friend was understanding. My boyfriend at the time was not. He was confused, and he did not know what to think of it. So, that day he had broken up with me, and I was forced to tell my parents. Something I never thought I would have to do. Because I thought that if I suffered in silence and I dealt with this on my own, it would just go away. And it didn't go away. I am no longer suffering. This is something that I deal with every day, but I'm not suffering. This has showed me strength. This has showed me grace. And this has showed me that I can do anything. But I do not have the same mentality as a lot of girls that have gone through this. There are a lot of young girls that have not made it through this. And that is what breaks my heart. Now, a few months down the road, I am able to say that this man was taken into custody with the FBI. His apartment was raided, and it was found that he was a 22-year-old in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a completely random man. And I still sit here and wonder, why me? How did they find me? Why did they choose me? But that doesn't matter, because it happened, and I'm here. And I'm going to tell my story, because I'm not scared. Now, this isn't a very long episode today, but there's just a lot to unpack. There's a lot. We're still awaiting the plea hearing, so then we can go to sentencing and hopefully be able to get justice for not only me, but for the other girls that this man did this to, because there's a lot. And it's sad and it's sickening. The other sickening part of this is how people treated me. How kids at school treated me after they found out that I had pictures of myself as a child on the internet. Nobody believed my story. Nobody believed I was blackmailed. Nobody believed I was manipulated. Everyone thought that I had no self-respect and had made an OnlyFans and was selling pictures of myself online. The complete opposite of who I am. My story was swept to the side. Administration of my high school did not do anything. They swept my story to the side because no one believed me and I was discredited and forgotten about. When I got to college, I was forced to share my story at my first chapter meeting in a sorority that I thought had chosen me and accepted me. 6 weeks after I shared this story, I was kicked out because girls were embarrassed of me and were disgusted by me. Because once again, the wrong narrative was shared about me. So I'm not here just to share my narrative. I'm not here just to say my story and attempt to clear my name. That's not what this is. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. If you choose to hear my story and say, well, she took the pictures, that's her fault anyways, right? It could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. How would you have responded? I would say the same way. So don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to make up the wrong narrative. I'm here to give strength to survivors. I'm here to give hope to young girls and women that are going through this right now. Use me as your sign of hope. Because when I went through this, I could not find a single woman that had talked about this, that had shared her story with her face, her name, her image, her voice. Because women are scared. And you know what? Fuck that. I'm not scared anymore. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to be shameful, and I'm not going to be embarrassed. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? I've been through the worst of it. So here I am. Use me as a sign of hope. Use me as the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the sign that you can make it through this. If you are a young girl or a woman listening to this or watching this, I promise you, you will make it out of this. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So please follow along, support my journey as I begin to become the voice of child exploitation and sextortion, because nobody else is doing it. Join me as I change the narrative behind this heinous crime plaguing the United States today. Join me, Alexandria Willard, on this awesome podcast called It's Now or Never. and help me change the narrative, because literally it is now or never, and we need to fix something. I love you guys so much, and I promise we are going to take a deep dive into every corner of this, and I will share everything, I promise. But for now, I think this is all. I love you guys so much. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, inon.pod, inon.pod on Instagram. Linked in the bio is my Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now my YouTube channel. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening, and let's change the narrative.